What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. Larry's not white. Larry's clear. We have a banger show for you today. We are going to recap the fucking wild divisional round, and we're going to talk a bunch of football. We got college football coming to a close. We got hirings. We got more firings. Shit's been crazy. Evo, my man, how you doing, brother? I love that hat every time, man. I love that fucking hat. That logo is. You guys got one of the good logos, and probably all of sports, but definitely in the NBA.
I'm a big fan of the Wolves logo. The new one, the old school vibe. I like pretty much their uniforms, the Prince themed uniforms. Like, it's all good, and it's nice to be able to wear it because they're a relevant, good team. Even if one of the best players in the league was snubbed from being on the All-Star team. Shame. It's a shame. But there's good things going on in Minnesota sports. The Wild are killing it. Wolves are great. Fuck the Twins. Sell the team. Yeah. Vikings winning record. There's
I mean, yeah.
There's all sorts of good stuff.
Doing just so good right now. I can't even
I keep on seeing all this stuff about Minnesota. I'm telling you, man. I'm about to join ICE.
Teams, yeah.
I'm about to join ICE. Oh yeah, sports is great. Yeah. No. And canceled. Yeah.
Oh man.
We joke.
Yeah, we do. Man, some things that were not so funny. We're gonna talk about the officials again in the NFL today because man, I got some fucking questions, and I know that Bills fans got some fucking questions about what the fucking catch is, and also why Joe Burrow decided to insert himself into that conversation. Man, we got a hell of a day.
Yeah, it's an interesting week. Of course, we're going to talk about the refs. I know it's something that we haven't ever done on this show before, but I feel like it's time for us to finally talk about officiating in the NFL because it seems to be, for some reason, a hot button topic right now. And then, of course, yeah, we had, divisional round games, pretty solid games, interesting, wild stuff happening after the games. And like you brought up, we got hirings, more firings in the NFL. The coaching carousel just gets even more wild. A lot of interesting and fun stuff to talk about. But one thing that we do have to bring up is how we did on our betting record last week. And unfortunately, I apologize from the bottom of my heart, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot pull up the graphic because, as you can tell, I'm on a headset. The camera might not look too different, but as per usual, tech issues. My computer is not working. I am on the sexy laptop that we're going to be bringing content to you from while Mike and I are down in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl here very shortly. Super excited about that. But I don't have that document on here, so we have to verbally recap for you. I, unfortunately, am tethered to this computer with the headset, and I have no pants on, so I can't get up and dance like Mike did last week. I did go 4-0 on my picks. Mike, 2-2 on the week. That brings us in the playoffs, both to an 8-2 prediction record. Obviously hitting pretty good. It's easier when you have a smaller slate and you feel like you really know these teams. A lot plays into these games as well. Not just the talent on the team, but we're talking about playoff atmosphere in those stadiums. A lot of the favorites won this week. I believe all the favorites won this week. And yeah, it was a fun weekend, a good week for betting. If you followed me, we did it, people. All right. So that was awesome. But a lot of interesting stuff to talk about with those games. But before we get into that, we did have a pretty important game last night.
We did. Crazy game. The national championship game taking place down there in Miami. And it was kind of a stinker to start. A lot of defense. Indiana, we know, has seen, I mean, they've been fantastic all year, and that defense has been spectacular throughout the college football playoff. Miami, big ass boys on both lines. And it was kind of just a slugfest early on. Not a ton of offense really throughout. Fernando Mendoza does enough and makes one of the most probably iconic plays that has ever happened in national championship history. But it's not simply just because the play is really good. It's because of who he is. It's because of who he's doing it for and the stage that it's happening on. Fernando Mendoza leading the fucking Indiana Hoosiers to the national championship over one of the blue bloods of old, Miami. It is one of the greatest stories that has ever happened in college football, in all of sports. True underdog, crazy type shit. And the image will live on forever. I mean, to break the tackle and then to sell out, diving into the end zone, put your team up by 2 scores. I mean, listen, I have said some maybe not so nice things about Fernando Mendoza. I think he's a pretty damn good quarterback. He's a wicked big fucking nerd though, but maybe that's going to work out for him. This right here, I will never question that man's heart and his fucking desire, because this right here, you know, you're getting blasted.
Yeah, he said it in the post game interview. He's willing to take back shots, front shots, whatever for his team. It's a beautiful thing when a guy is willing to come out and say how he's willing to lay it all on the line for the brothers around him, whether it's taking it from the front or the back. I love it. He's such an awkward character. He might, as a quarterback, might not be Kirk Cousins 2.0, but as a person, he's got a little bit of Cousins in him. And look, congratulations to the Raiders. I think it's without a doubt Fernando Mendoza is going to be your pick. And the jersey sales for Mendoza to the Raiders is going to just be bountiful for that team. Just a hell of a consequence. Amazing. And look, he's a true gamer. And like you said, with this team, Indiana's not known for being this good. Kurt Cinetti has done amazing things everywhere that he's been, including the fantastic looks at the TV screen, knowing where the camera is at all times. Love it. But to not have a single 5-star recruit on that team, to be platooning out just a shitload of 3 stars and not look like, oh, maybe like they just had a special season to get here, but they don't really belong. They looked like they belonged. They absolutely looked like they belonged in every single one of these playoff games and in this championship game. So congratulations to the Hoosiers. A great season for them. A fun road to follow. And now the Mendozas are out of Indiana because his younger brother
transferred.
Georgia Tech, I believe.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. I just saw the news come out. I believe it was today. Wild. I mean, you know what? Go play wherever you're going to go. What an insane story.
Derpy,
all right, Derpy, what do you got, man? What's
up?
What's
bothering you? You can't just leave us on a cliffhanger there.
No kidding.
What I was kind of expecting you to pull up there as a picture is just them constantly putting up pictures of some young Miami fan in the crowd, some young lady, never seen her before in my life, don't know anything about any videos that she might have online, but this young lady the cameraman was panning to and stuff. I don't get it. I thought that might have been the iconic picture that you were going to put up, but that's a good one there. Fernando Mendoza making it into the end zone.
Yeah, that was that. No, I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not getting in trouble, producer Amber. However, these comments that are coming in, man, we have to dress up like the fucking Kelseys apparently for Halloween, because this is just it's ridiculous. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I get it. It is very much a Temu Kelsey look over here.
I'll take it. Fuck it.
Same.
I'll go as Jason Kelsey's wife. Does that work?
No, I'm not gonna get in trouble with my wife today on account of you. All right.
Well, you don't want to kiss me? You don't want to kiss me?
Oh, all right, man. Let's
Jesus
get off
Christ.
of that. We got Derpy coming back in here. Indiana winning doesn't mean Lee Corso will die. I'm concerned.
He will die. Everyone dies, unfortunately. If you want to connect the dots of it happening sooner than necessary, as some sort of fortuitous event.
This is like the Antichrist.
I don't know.
I don't want to call Indiana and the Hoosiers the Antichrist. That seems really, really terrible. Considering how nice of people they seem they probably are. The Mendozas have got to be the sweetest people on the planet. Like their son is like overly nice. He's so creepy. He's that nice, but he's gonna do great out in Vegas. That environment's not gonna be weird for him at all.
No. Yeah, he can definitely stay off the strip and just stick to the practice fields and I don't know, live a little bit further out of town, maybe. One of the nicer parts of town. Because look, Vegas is a lot of fun. You can get yourself into a lot of trouble as well, though. Which, speaking of trouble, thank God my guy Jordan Addison got off. He got her fucking arrested again, and apparently everything has been dropped in a casino in Florida at 3 a.m, and they said that he wouldn't leave or something, but charges were dropped, and now he's filing charges for wrongful, arrest and stuff like that. Either way,
damn,
kind of pisses me off because even if he didn't do anything wrong, like you're tanking your trade value because I don't know that we're going to be able to keep you. Or on the other hand, maybe it's making you cheaper for us to retain. I don't know. But I'm glad that's over with. Hopefully Jordan Addison sagas can end there. But yeah, look, we did have some hirings and some firings since we've last been here with you. Speaking of the Raiders, no hiring yet. But it'll be really interesting to see which head coach ends up going in there. Brian Flores has not had an interview with them, even though I've been banging the table that that's probably the best spot for him to go. And I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is the multiple head coach interviews now that he's had with both the Steelers and the Ravens. It's got me scared. Hopefully that lawsuit scares teams away. That's all I know.
Yeah. I would like to keep him out of the North, just in general. No Baltimore, no.
Yeah, it's got to be worrisome.
No.
Got to be worrisome for you because
very much so.
In your division that are looking for a head coach other than you are going out and possibly trying to steal the best goddamn defensive coordinator and one of the scariest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, it can't happen, dude. If that happens, we're fucked. Man, like, because we gotta listen. Udinski has his second interview coming up on Friday. There's second interviews going on this week. I believe he's the last guy that we have scheduled for a second interview, and I hope they just offer him the fucking job right there on the spot after he's done.
Yeah, look, we have spoke about Udinski a couple times. I think that he would be a good hire. Personally, yeah, for the Browns, I'd rather from a Browns fans perspective, I think I'd rather have someone who's got a little bit more tenure, but still, you're looking at your shot at the potential next Sean McVay. The guy's like 30 years old, and apparently is brilliant. So if you want to build some offense, he's definitely one of those guys that would be a hot name, hot commodity.
See, I'm not sure that guys now are going to care too much about how long a guy's been in the league. Because if you come in and you are good at your fucking job, like dudes gravitated to McVay. It only took like a year and motherfuckers were bought in. So if Grant is that type of dude, I don't know that I have a similar type worry about the culture, making sure that there's a guy who's been, in a head coaching role before or in a high leadership role before. So, but I understand what you're getting at.
Mm-hmm.
My man, should we break down a couple of these games and then talk a couple more coaches so we're not just front loading everything at once?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting off with our Saturday games, we've got an interesting one, especially the results after the game. Bills and Broncos. Broncos end up getting the win 33-30. In the game, we have an insane officiating snafu. And that's the way I would put it. I'm not Joe Burrow. Maybe I'm not as well versed in football as I should be, but we have just some pretty piss poor officiating. What really should have been, in my opinion, a catch
Down
by contact, not an interception, which really thwarted the Bills, and at the end cost them the game.
Yeah, I was in 100% agreement. I was like, and I wanted to make sure that I understood the rule, but if you are going to try to say you have to survive the ground, which maybe Brandon Cooks didn't do, then I don't know how you could have the inverse call in fucking Sunday night's game. So the officiating is wildly inconsistent. That's problem one. But also, I believe that they got the call wrong. And then you get Sean McD in the presser afterward basically saying, I don't understand how you don't go fucking look at that. Like, take a second, take the time, because he can't do anything about it. This is an overtime. There are no goddamn challenges. Somebody should be initiating a review. This is a turnover. Like, somebody take a fucking longer look at this thing and figure out if this is the right call or not. This fucking matters. So I understand why he's pissed. Also, it puts him in the hot seat, which, by the way, he gets fired the very next day. Like, and I agree that if there's a simultaneous catch, the tie goes to the receiver, and then
but there wasn't. To me, it clearly there was no simultaneous. Cooks caught the ball, was going down, and in the process of going down, when he hit the ground, the defender was ripping the ball out. But to me, there was a catch. Football moves down on the ground. It kind of brings into play, at what point now is a guy down?
Yeah.
And when you slow these things down to milliseconds, you don't really understand the full concept of how long the guy had possession of the ball. Like, in action, catch, down, and then they get up and the other guy's got the ball. It's going to create this weird conundrum in the league where and realistically players should already be fighting for the ball from whoever has it, but you're going to see some really weird aggressive play where, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work, but you're going to get an officiating crew one day that's going to say, oh yeah, we're going to rule that an interception, and it's going to be close enough through replays that they're going to be able to not determine not exactly who had it, and they have to go with the ruling on the field. Yeah. But to me, as it slowed down, honestly, I felt like that was a catch, not an interception. And what makes it even kind of more heartbreaking is that the Broncos, they get the win, and I was upset for Bills fans, as is. Sad to see, Josh Allen not being able to hold it together at the podium. Deion Dawkins feeling it for his guy in the locker room.
Yeah.
Obviously a tough end of the year for the Bills. But then for the news to come out after the game, Bo Nix has a broken ankle and is out for the year, scheduled for surgery today on the broken ankle. And now we're looking at this Broncos team, and you are like, should a Jared Stidham-led team really be going on to the AFC Championship when we could have had a Josh Allen-led Bills team? and you feel a little bit cheated. Obviously, Bills fans feel cheated. If people are believing that there's scripts out there, the NFL script writers got thrown a loop from this broken ankle. It's a little bit of a bummer. Of course, it introduces the possibility that Stidham goes out there and is Frank Reich 2.0, not the Third Reich, just the Second Reich, and somehow leads his team to a playoff win. Me personally, I don't know that I see it. Then again, Bo Nix has an award on this show for a reason. And any player can go out there and have a Bo Nix type of day. Bo Nix goes out there and has Bo Nix types a day, and they still win games because how good that Broncos defense is. But odds are that the Broncos just got a poison pill.
Yeah, almost certainly, man. When those Sunday games came around, I told Amber's like, whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl. They're beating the Jared Stidham-led Broncos. Now, that defense is very good, obviously. They were able to do a lot of things. They turned Josh over, twice through the air. But, I mean, one of the huge factors, and we have lauded, Josh Allen for making these superhuman plays. He tried to do too much, man. A lot of this falls kind of on Josh. I understand why he's upset, feeling like he failed his team, let them down. That end of the half sequence might have been one of the worst in, playoff history for any quarterback, man. Like, that's tough.
Look, this was a weekend of turnovers, but Josh Allen, 2 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles. It was a pretty rough outing for him. The Superman cape just wasn't flowing on this day.
As soon as that ball came out of his hands, flying in the wrong fucking direction, I was like, "Oh Jesus, here, Christ!" That was like old Josh Allen shit happening, where he's trying to pitch it backwards. Except for this time, he was just carrying it like a loaf of fucking bread.
Yeah. But congratulations to the Broncos. My wife pick of the week worked for me. Sorry to my wife. I don't think I'm going to be rolling with your team next week.
For sure.
Especially not at the line where it's at now. It would have to be Broncos plus almost double what it currently is, but that's for our next show. We won't get into that. And same with talking about what you brought up, Sean McDermott being fired. We'll talk about that here in a little bit because I'm sure that you got some thoughts. I absolutely have some thoughts on that. But with that, Denver advances to the AFC Championship game. And so congratulations to you guys. It kind of has become a moral victory at this point, and not a whole lot else.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next game, which honestly, we don't have a lot to talk about in this game because it wasn't much of a game. Seahawks win 41-6 over the 49ers. It was an ass whooping from start to finish. 49ers could not do anything really. Injuries continue to happen and pile up. The story of the power station is never going to go away at this point. It is a very real thing. The injuries are absolutely insane. And the 49ers are a good team. They have been a good team. They're very well coached. You can't win when your entire team blows out all of their soft tissues. Like, I don't know what you want from them. Like, sorry, Joe. Injuries killed you guys this year. And they have for the last few years. That's the story of this. And obviously the Seahawks defense is same level as probably the Texans, like 1A, 1B right now, the way they're playing, because they have been fucking insane.
Well, through the playoffs, the Seahawks defensive EPA is the highest in the league. The NFC Championship game right now, per analytics and statistics, is set to be the best game ever. The number 1 EPA offense versus the number 1 EPA defense, and the flip sides of those teams are also very fucking good. So it's going to be a fun one. Big time win by Seattle. They're very dominant, and the fashion of which they're able to do it is pretty spectacular. There's a couple things that I want to bring up with the Seattle team. One, if you look at Sam Darnold, he was 12 of 17, 7.3 yard average, 124 yards, and 1 touchdown. He didn't have to do a whole lot. That's one of the things that I think was a failure with his time with the Vikings last year is they put it all on his shoulders. The Seahawks didn't have to put it on his shoulders. Yes, it's easier to say and do that when you have as big of a lead as they did, but they are allowing Sam to go out there, be efficient, take what he can get, take what he needs to get, but he doesn't have to be, Superman essentially. He doesn't have to have the weight of the world on his shoulders in these games. It also helps when Rashid Shaheed takes the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. That's a nice way to start off a game. And then secondly, Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. We've talked about them quite a bit. Charbonnet goes down early in this game. Torn ACL is done for the year. We've been harping on Kenneth Walker being, look, and this is not to discredit Charbonnet. He is good. It's obvious. He's a touchdown vulture as well. But we don't get to see the full usage of Kenneth Walker and how good he is. In this game, we got to fucking see it. 19 rushes, 116 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and then he puts up another 29 yards through the air. Kenneth Walker had himself a hell of a game, and it makes me a little bit sad because while I've been rooting for Kenneth Walker this entire year, watching him waste away on my fantasy football bench,
same.
I also knew that he was about to be a free agent this year and a guy that I would love to have seen in purple with my Vikings. Now, I think that's still was a bit of a pipe dream, but with Charbonnet going down with the ACL injury, I think that he has to be a priority re-signing for the Seahawks team at this point. The Seahawks are, over the past, I believe, 2 decades, the best drafting team in the NFL, and that is why they're able to have the success that they have, continue bringing in new players and have success and good development. And so maybe they look to do that through the draft, bring another running back and let Kenneth Walker leave because he is going to command probably 10 or more million per year because of how good he is. And if he keeps performing like this in the playoffs, he's going to be commanding that sort of a contract. But I just don't know with the instability that will be created at that position now with Charbonnet not being there, how they can let him walk out. So while he is set and scheduled to be a free agent, I would expect Kenneth Walker to be back with the Seahawks. A big game for him, big coming out. This is what we have felt like he could be all year if he was getting a prime amount of those carries. So congratulations to him and congrats to that defense. They are nasty.
Yeah, they're really fucking good. Right now, they have got to look like the favorites to win the Super Bowl. The way they're fucking beating people. Man, yeah. Charbonnet going down sucks. Like you said, we don't dislike Charbonnet. You like him as a player. You're like, man, he's a really good back coming out. I remember you talking about it.
I was a big fan of him coming out of UCLA.
But God damn it, he was taking every carry from Kenneth Walker inside the 20. And it was driving me crazy.
Yeah, very frustrating to see Kenneth Walker put in some work and then get taken out for the goal line and stuff like that. It sucks. But we're going to get what we wanted all season now through the rest of the playoffs. As long as the Seahawks are in it, we're going to see a lot of Kenneth Walker out there. But that was our Saturday slate of games. Now, we can jump into a little bit of action that happened outside of the games with that coaching carousel. Sean McDermott gets fired in Buffalo, and you see a slew of players coming out, current Bills players, former Bills players, not happy to see Sean leave. A guy that the players really respected, really liked. He brought the Bills back to being a good team again. And from one perspective, I get it. You've tried this a lot of teams that have made it to AFC Championship games. They've never made it to the Super Bowl in his time, whereas the teams that have the same amount of visits to the AFC Championship games have all made it to the Super Bowl like 6 times. I'm talking about the Chiefs in specific here. It's not been a great track record deep in the playoffs, and you see some teams move on from good coaches when they hit these sorts of brick walls. Schottenheimer with the Chargers comes to mind. They were always a 11, 12, 13 win team making it to the playoffs and not making it to the big game. And they ended up moving on from them. You see that with some coaches, but I don't think Sean McDermott was the problem here. Look, we've talked about in previous years, maybe he's on the hot seat, maybe he's not. I've definitely moved off from that. I don't think this was Sean McDermott's fault. You look at the way that this team has kind of eroded, and you look at some of the draft picks that they've made and not addressing some of these concerns and letting them just kind of progressively get worse. And my thought process immediately goes to the GM and the fact that not only was Brandon Beane retained, but he was promoted. It does not make sense to me. If you're going to move on from McDermott, you should clean house. This should be a reset of the coaching staff and front office. That would make more sense. But to leave Beane in there, that to me seems criminal. He's got to be on the shortest of leashes there. But when you're getting guys like Keon Coleman to try to fix your receiver issue, a guy who's a big body, supposedly good catcher of the ball, but has one of the worst separation rates to come out of college, and you're taking him as early as you do, and now he looks like a bust. It's things like this, not reinvigorating that defense like they should. There's a report out today that Sean McDermott several weeks ago was having conversations with Terry Bagula and Brandon Beane saying, I think that the depth on this team is not good enough. We need to bring in more guys because if people get injured, we are going to be screwed. And they didn't like his answer. And that's asinine because we've seen how this team has barely held it together with the injuries that they've had and really been bad at some parts of the ball that they've been good at in previous years. I don't know why he was retained. It frustrates me. I get moving on from a coach if you're stagnating, but I think the reason that you're stagnating has nothing to do with the coach.
Yeah. I don't know that there's much else that I could say that you have. Like, it was completely obvious who should have been fired. And when the idea came up that Sean McDermott was going to be the one that was possibly going to be fired, the words that came out of my mouth were, he can come be my coach. We could listen, if we don't land Udinsky, fuck everybody else. Bring Sean McD into Cleveland. I know he can fucking build a good culture. I know what he can do with a goddamn quarterback. Like, give me Sean McDermott. I'm sure that there are teams that are very upset that they hired coaches already. Falcons. That Sean McDermott's available.
I mean, maybe the Falcons are happy with their hire because they did make a hire this weekend.
They did.
Oh, Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure that Kevin wasn't happy that the Bills job came open after he took the job down there in Atlanta. Because right now, I mean, the best job in all of football right now, it's got to be the Bills, right? Josh Allen, best player in the league.
Yeah. I mean, Harbaugh signing with the Giants makes a ton of sense. I think he probably second guesses it if that Bills job was also available. You're talking about coaching Josh Allen.
You go from Lamar Jackson to Josh Allen. Yeah, I think that would be a great fucking way to coach.
And a roster that has a lot of good players on it. And if a Harbaugh goes in there, I don't care if Brandon Beane's promoted or not. Harbaugh, one of the sticking points was that when he went to the Giants, he wanted to report directly to the Maras. That's what held up the contract signing for a little bit, and he got what he wanted, which has to be making Joel Shane shiver in his fucking boots. Because next year, if Harbaugh doesn't like what happens, that's the first person he's going to point to and say, I want a new GM. I want my guy, whoever that ends up being. And so that's early bold prediction. I think Joel Shane's fucking done next year. But if Harbaugh's looking at Buffalo and New York, I think that's way closer to a toss-up of where he would be willing to go. So yeah, there's probably some coaches kicking themselves, but with that, we do have Stefanski going down to Atlanta and signing on there.
Evo, real quick before we get into that, I want to make sure we shout out the people that are hopping in here. Kenneth, Shout out to you as well. Thank you for subscribing, brother. We very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
Kenneth again. Josh Allen does deserve some of that blame. And then we'll leave that Texans comment in there for now.
Yeah. And look, that Josh does deserve some of the blame for that loss. Absolutely. I mean, that he was trying to do a lot, but also we've seen so many times that he's the one-man wrecking crew, the Superman there. And it's tough to do when you don't have a lot of other pieces around you. You have James Cook and then a lot of guys who are kind of jags, to be completely honest. Like, you've got some solid tight ends.
I love Khalil Shakir, man. He is one of my favorite slot players in the entire league, but he's a slot.
Yeah, for sure. But it'll be interesting who ends up going there as the next head coach, because if they're able to impose some of their wants and wishes and get some good offensive pieces around Josh Allen, even if the defense ends up continuing to suffer a little bit, it'll make that offense really explosive, really fun to watch, very interesting. But yes, Stefanski, Atlanta, obviously a little bit close to you because Stefanski was your coach. I'm interested to see what you think about the fit. They already made one hire in Bill Callahan to run that offensive line, retaining Jeff Ulbrich, who you might remember. His son got a hold of Shadur's number and was texting funny things. And so that's an interesting connection. And then we also have the NFC South connection, where Baker's already been on socials talking shit and is going to be reinvigorated to try to get some wins versus Atlanta this coming season and going forward, I bet. So I'm interested to get your thoughts on if this was the right hire, if it was a good hire, how this is going to shake down. Obviously, quarterback issues there in Atlanta. I've seen some speculation that because of Stefanski's relationship with Kirk Cousins, maybe that keeps him there longer. I'm willing to come out here right now and tell you it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, Atlanta moved too fast to restructure that contract because unless they try to re-sign Kirk for more money, they're fucked, because the moving of that contract money means that this year he gets paid a reasonable amount. Next year, you can't cut him because you owe him roughly $75 million. So you have to cut him by March 13th. Because if he's on the roster after March 13th, that money's locked in.
So do I think the fit is good? Probably not. Now, Falcons fans already don't like me. And that's probably not going to get any better with their new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, being there. Listen, Kevin has the ability at times to call really good offense. And you know what? Falcons have some really good offensive pieces. He has the best offensive pieces that he's probably ever had at his disposal. But who is his quarterback going to be? Well, it's probably not going to be Kirk. So can Michael Penix get out there with his robot legs and pull the trigger and hit the guys that he needs to hit? I don't know. Kevin is not necessarily a great motivator of men. One of the things that he very much lacked here in Cleveland. I just don't know how it's going to play. Arthur Blank it kind of feels like very much like he's a nice guy, but kind of seems like he's very much in your face when you coach for him. Like, he expects you to be a certain way all the time. Because, I mean, that man is always fucking dressed in the most badass looking suits, by the way. Arthur Blank's got some fucking style. I don't think that it's going to work long term. Kevin Stefanski is kind of notorious, and you're also a little bit familiar with this, of kind of coaching the aggressiveness out of people and out of teams. Wide receivers kind of take a dip in production when Kevin Stefanski comes around. So I don't know that, we saw a lot of progress out of Drake London. We saw a lot of progress out of Kyle Pitts. Will we continue to see that similar progress with Kevin Stefanski when he hasn't really shown that he can regress wide receiver talent. I mean, I don't feel good about this hire. And it's not because I hate Kevin Stefanski. I don't know that offensive system is going to be conducive to all the weapons that they have. They're explosive. They need to be explosive. And Kevin's kind of vanilla fucking pudding.
There's been some speculation as well that he's bringing his offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, from Cleveland down with him as well.
Yeah.
Which if it wasn't really working there, yeah, you got better pieces there in Atlanta, which, by the way, is Michael Penix going to be the first quarterback we see to go out there with 2 offensive lineman style knee braces on? That would be fucking dope.
Probably. That would not surprise me at all.
That would
I told you, he's on his way to robot legs, bro.
That would be insane. Just looking like Forrest Gump out there. But it is an interesting hire to me. It doesn't. If I'm an Atlanta fan, I'm not excited because there were a lot of exciting names out there in this coaching cycle. I don't know that I like the fit. It also feels like we're weird because we're running it back with the defense, which the defense did take steps forward this year for sure. And they have a lot of young players on that team. But I still feel like the offensive coaching staff was the primary issue with that team, not even Raheem Morris. And so they needed to make changes there. The defensive side was coming along, but you would think that they might try something a little different on defense with a new coach coming in. I don't know. It just I don't see the vision as much as maybe a Matt Ryan does. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out down there in Atlanta.
Well, I can tell you somebody who's excited, and it's Baker Mayfield, because I think he thinks like I do, and that he's kind of not really a great leader. Taking some very serious shots at him on, I think it was X. I don't remember if it was X or Instagram. One of the
platforms.
Yeah, it's probably everywhere now. Basically calling him out, saying, yeah, he didn't even fucking say shit to me, threw me away like garbage. And then
still waiting on that text or call.
Yeah, still. I don't think it's coming, Baker. Definitely it ain't coming now. I can't wait until they have a handshake. That would be great. That's going to be primetime television.
Yeah.
Sure. But if you get former players that are coming out and saying things like that, and I don't know that Kevin Stefanski would then excite me if I'm a Falcons fan. Like, man, now maybe Baker's just bitter. I guess that's possible. I don't know why. I mean, he's doing pretty good down at Tampa. It's a tough finish to the year. I mean, getting hurt and pissing away your fucking division, but
yeah, but I get it. Like, you've got to find a reason to. You need to find a nemesis, an enemy, and stuff like that. A lot of times, Michael Jordan did it with everybody. You could fucking be like, "Hey, good job," and he'll be like, right. He said it the wrong fucking way. It's on, and I get that. So let the dog out and Baker, and we'll see.
Baker is that guy.
Yeah. It'll make it pretty interesting twice a year to watch those teams play. But yeah, interesting hire to say the least down there. We did have another coach hiring happen in the wee hours last night. Robert Saleh going to the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, I don't think the Titans' job is a fantastic job, but he's the new head coach down there. And they have a lot of holes. I think he'll probably get a little bit of a longer leash than he had in New York. Maybe he was fucked over in New York from the quarterback. I don't know. I guess they could always reunite if they don't think Cam Ward's the guy immediately and try to pull the corpse of Aaron Rodgers out there in Nashville.
That would be awful. I mean, Cam Ward's going to be their guy. Do you think that is going to work, though? That hire?
I think we'll see the defense get better. It'll be interesting to see who he brings in as his offensive coordinator, which with the Detroit Lions turning down Mike McDaniels, with him stepping away from the possibility of going to the Cleveland Browns and a little bit of history together, Mike McDaniel's going to the Titans seems like it could be an interesting fit.
That would work. Yeah, as an OC, obviously, because they have just got the head coach done. But
apparently Saleh's vision kind of blew them away. The other big option that they were looking at was Matt Nagy, who has now been replaced as the offensive coordinator in Kansas City by a familiar face, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, Bieniemy getting hired.
Back in town there. But it's interesting because Saleh will provide a boost to that defense. You obviously almost can't go wrong in the draft as long as you draft and bring in guys who are able to play for you, because that's probably going to be better than the product you got on the field. And you should see a little bit of a boost on the defense there. The offense is where it'll be a little bit more interesting for me to see what sort of staff Saleh is able to bring in and provide a boost there to help grow and mentor Cam Ward.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shitload of names out there, and there are guys that could move who are kind of being looked at for head coaching roles right now, who can move into offensive coordinator roles. Shieldhouse is one of those guys. He's a passing game coordinator. So getting a promotion to an OC, if he doesn't get a head coaching job, is definitely a possibility. I mean, because he's already being looked at as a potential head coach. So maybe he leaves McVay's tree, goes somewhere else. I don't know. There's just so many fucking guys. There's so many names, and they keep popping up. This hiring cycle is absurd. Like, and we have seen basically every national show talk about how insane it is, but 10 coaches in a league with only 32 jobs. That's a fucking third of the league is looking for a new head coach. And some of these guys, actually, a lot of these fucking guys that people want to hire now have been really good head coaches, like the Sean McDermott's, the fucking Harbaughs. It's insane. So not all of these teams are going to be able to hire these really good coaches that are going to last for forever. Some of these guys are going to get jobs. Some of these guys are going to go back rather than take a job where they know there's no shot of having any kind of success anytime soon. To me, that screams, Miami and Arizona right now because of the quarterback situations. Like, they feel like they're going to hire guys who are placeholders until they can get things right and then go out and hire. Kind of feels like a Gannon situation again, right?
That's the thing with Arizona in particular. I thought Gannon was the guy who was just a placeholder until we have a better option come along. But when you're as bad of a team and in as bad of a situation as you are, unfortunately, you're stuck asking the ugly girl to go to the prom with you, and I feel like that's where they're at again. But maybe they put out. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they, Cardinals fans, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, a solid hire for Tennessee, I guess, with Saleh, because I think he's a good coach.
He's a good
coach. Thought that he got the raw end of the stick in New York, though.
Well, the quarterback.
The Jets are a place that will tear you the fuck up. I mean, Saleh went in there and had Zach Wilson and then transitioned to Aaron Rodgers. You got dealt the worst hand possible. That city's just known for eating people up anyways. So I think he'll have a much better run there with Tennessee. But I think the Titans also are trying to look at this being like, I mean, we let Vrabel go. We probably fucking screwed the pooch there. Let's bring in another hard-nosed defensive guy who's like going to bring some sort of moxie to us and try to reignite that. I like Saleh. I don't know that he's the same as Vrabel, but I expect it to be a good thing for the Titans. I can't say the same for Stefanski to the Falcons. It'll be interesting with the Falcons to see how it shakes out. But yeah, those are your big hires right now. Obviously, we still have some newer openings with the Bills, and the Ravens are still looking for a new head coach. You've got Pittsburgh looking for their head coach option. Lots of good spots still to go, and the Raiders, knowing that they're going to be getting Fernando Mendoza, obviously that is a huge bargaining chip for them as well when trying to bring in a new coach.
I would also imagine that's part of the interview process.
Yes.
That, hey, by the way, we're drafting Fernando Mendoza. You're good with that, right? Because he's your fucking guy. You're getting hired. He's getting drafted. You two are married. If you're not okay with having Fernando Mendoza as your quarterback, appreciate you, but there's the door because we're not fucking hiring you.
Yeah.
That's got to be part of the conversation.
Absolutely. That's every head coach interview is going to be based off the personnel that we have. What would you do with the personnel that we have? And it's kind of baked in with the Raiders. You have Fernando Mendoza. How would you proceed? Are you going to sit him for a year and try to run back with Geno? Are you going to thrust him right into the action? What's your plan going forward? In addition to obviously all the coaches that they say that they'll be able to bring in as coordinators and so on and so forth. Another fun hire that I personally enjoy, Drew Petzing, new offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Drew Petzing being the former offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals had a decent passing game at times. Like, we saw some good stuff from wide receivers, but I think they had talented wide receivers. And the Detroit Lions have talented wide receivers. But the other options that they were looking at sound a little bit scary to me as a Vikings fan. So congratulations, Detroit Lions, for bringing in Drew Petzing. Best of luck.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very, very happy about that.
Yes.
Man, there are so many guys, so many younger guys, younger names that are looking for an opportunity to fucking go out and call plays.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what you're getting in Detroit. You are going to be the play caller in Detroit. You don't have to worry about getting hired and somebody else taking that from you. They are fucking hiring you for that role. Hire a guy that is young, up and coming, like that needs that opportunity, man. Whatever.
Innovative, because you've got guys that you can innovate with and you can have a lot of fun being aggressive up there. Dan Campbell likes to go balls to the wall. You can throw out some crazy shit. You can be a mad scientist a la Ben Johnson and do some pretty fun stuff up there. And you brought in Drew fucking Petzing. So again, congratulations to you. I'm not sure that he's the guy for it. I think he's a perfectly fine offensive coordinator. I don't think he's the exciting one that you would really hope for to utilize all those weapons that you have. So, and that's one of the things that is this coaching cycle is so interesting, not just because there are so many head coach position openings, but you have what feels like the best crop of options that I've seen in such a long time. There's so many guys out there that even if I don't think that they're great fits for the team, still feel like they are going to be good coaches or good options at head coach in the league. Of course, you have Harbaugh that was out there. Tomlin technically floating around. McDermott now. You have Brian Dable. You can bring him in as an offensive coordinator, who he sounds like the potential shoe in there for that Bills job. But you've got so many good options. Stefanski is considered a good option that even if you get a guy that isn't a great fit for your team, you still feel pretty good. Like, because this is just a good hiring cycle. A lot of big names. Flores is out there. You've got Shula and Kubiak, both the Kubiaks. There is another Kubiak out there, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Kubiak. Didn't know that. You've got so many really good options. Jesse Minter, like it is a ripe season to pick a new head coach. And it's making it a lot of fun. The shakeup is fun, but also we've been taught a lesson here. The NFL is not for long. It doesn't matter how good of a coach you are, they are willing to move on.
Yeah, and you brought us some great examples. Schottenheimer, obviously, is one of those that Chargers team was phenomenal every year. I mean, and that's if you drafted anybody from that Chargers team on your fantasy team, you had a shot to make it to the fucking championship. Those teams were always incredible. They never made it past. Well, they never made it past Peyton.
There was a lot of Nate Kading fuck ups in the playoffs that I remember when I was younger.
Yeah.
Good kicker regular season, not so good in the playoffs. Nate Kading, unfortunate.
All right, brother. Hey, let's get back into a couple of these recaps because we got two more. We got the Texans losing. We had a comment come in a little earlier about it as well to the Patriots. And I mean, 28-16, This game seems like it was close, but Jesus Christ, it wasn't even remotely close. It never felt like the Texans were really in this thing because CJ Stroud took them completely out of it. And back-to-back weeks, multiple turnovers. I mean, 4 fucking interceptions in this one when it was 4 fumbles the week prior. You can't win with this. It's impossible to win. Like, you cannot win at all with
this. Is our Bo Nix Award winner of the week for sure. And one of the worst times to do it. Look, CJ Stroud had an amazing rookie season. And then last year took a step back and looked a lot more like a true second-year quarterback. And people were saying sophomore slump and whatnot. And then this year, you expect to see him kind of get back on track. And things just didn't go that way. You saw stretches where he was out, and Davis Mills comes in and performs pretty well. And it's bad when you're in this playoff game and you hear a lot of whispers of maybe Davis Mills should get a shot out there because of how bad CJ was playing. This was brought up on one of the podcasts that I like to watch a lot, the O-line committee. And both of the former players on that podcast said, don't be surprised if the Texans look to move on from CJ Stroud or don't pick up his 5th-year option, because he had a great rookie season. And then they changed offensive coordinators and things just didn't go well. And things continued to this year to not go well. And they might decide, we can't invest in this guy long term because he's fallen off of a cliff. I think that would be silly of the Texans.
That
he has played bad.
Line, now listen, 4 interceptions is fucking atrocious. 4 fumbles the week prior, fucking atrocious. But when you consider the offensive line that he had his rookie year compared to year 2 and now year fucking 3, they are night and day different.
I don't disagree. Obviously, we've talked a lot of shit about how bad this Texans offensive line is, but I don't put a lot of those interceptions on the offensive line.
Okay, no. I'm not pushing off the fact that he had a terrible game over the last 2 fucking weeks. But the idea that he's falling off of a cliff, that he can't do it anymore, to me seems insane, because if you look at the pieces around him, like one of his favorite targets will probably never play football again. And when he broke his fucking leg.
Oh, there's a report today. Tank Dell is expected to be ready to go next year.
You think so?
That's what they say.
Oh man,
it was a devastating injury. But they have a lot of weapons up there,
sure,
as far as receivers.
But they can't protect. They can't run the ball either because they can't do anything on the offensive line. So the idea that CJ can't play now is, to me, crazy, because there's a lot of things that are working against him. And we've seen him be exceptional when he has some help, some protect. Like, a little bit of a running game would have saved a lot of heartache over the last couple of fucking games. Not placing the ball in CJ's hands so many times while he's struggling. But I also have to question the coaching staff and why you don't pull CJ Stroud out in this thing. It was very clear that he was not right.
Yeah.
Couldn't throw it, couldn't see what was coming, he was just not seeing shit. Davis Mills should have come in at the half, and they probably could have won this game still.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Call it reckless speculation, call it what you want. I think it would be a mistake to move on from CJ Stroud, but this offseason,
it's possible, you think?
CJ Stroud is available for his 5th-year option. He's going into his 4th year next season. If they don't pick up that option, you could see CJ Stroud being someone that could be moved sometime next year if he doesn't show some growth. Again, I think it would be a mistake because I liked what I saw that first year. I think that the same stuff that you brought up, no running game, no offensive line, obviously a phenomenal defense, and you don't need to be gangbusters on offense. You just need to be able to be competent on offense. And he hasn't been through the playoffs. And hasn't been for a good chunk of this year and last year. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Tough spot. Terrible game. Patriots move on, and what seems like de facto trip to the Super Bowl. Patriots are fucking right back on, possibly being on top.
And we have
you look at that matchup. Jared Stidham is going to be. That's an interesting matchup, just because Stidham was at one point slated to become the starter for the Patriots, and then was beat out by, I believe, Mac Jones.
Yeah. We do have some somewhat breaking news here. It's not official. Thank you to producer Amber. Mike McDaniels is expected to be the offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers. Has not signed the deal yet, but that is expected. Mike McDaniels, a guru of the run game. Harbaugh, old Jimbo, liking to run the ball a lot. Got some decent options there in Kamani Vidal and Omari Hampton. Interesting fit. And obviously he's known for dialing up some special stuff in the pass game too, with some decent options. So we'll see what he's able to do there with Justin Herbert. Or maybe they trade Justin Herbert and bring in Tua.
That's not going to happen for sure.
They're best friends.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Thank you, producer Amber, for popping that in there. She does bring up a good point. Going from Miami to LA for Mike McDaniels.
Look, if any coach is known for keeping his coordinators in line, it's Jimmy Harbaugh.
For sure. For sure.
Any sort of scandals or anything like that with any of his former assistant coaches. So good news there.
Technically not a coach. I think he was just kind of there on the sidelines, hanging out.
Well, yeah. Connor Stallions played a part on that team. Sharon Moore definitely played a part on that team.
For a minute. For a minute he did. All right, brother. Listen, Patriots played well. Drake May played well. They didn't have to do a whole lot because the Texans were kind of just giving it to them in plus territory the entire day. The field position was just out of hand. The Texans, I mean, their defense gave a valiant effort to hold the Patriots to what they did. But there was just no shot that they were going to overcome. Patriots, good win.
Yep.
Handed one.
Yep. And that is that's going to lead us into our last game. But before we get there, I want to thank everyone who's been commenting. Had great comments tonight, great input. Everyone who's watching, we appreciate you. If you could take a second, go to our channels, like, share, and subscribe to us. We would be eternally grateful to you. We're at 925 subscribers on TikTok. We want to hit that big 1,000 mark there on TikTok to help us go live on there regularly. That would be a huge boost for us. So please, if you enjoy screwing around with us a little bit, having some fun convo, and obviously getting in to interact, we'd really appreciate your support and helping us grow the channel a little bit. But with that, our next game, LA Rams versus Chicago Bears. This one ends up going to overtime, and it goes to overtime with one hell of a fucking play by Caleb Williams.
Insane.
But in the end, the Rams end up getting the win. The thicker kicker, Mevis, is able to go out there and get the field goal for the win. Congratulations to the Rams. Obviously, they've been kind of stumbling a little bit here towards the end of the year. Bears are known for eking it out, getting those wins at the end of the game, and it looked like that was about to happen. One of the craziest wasted touchdowns in the playoffs in the past decade. Caleb Williams, I was yelling at the TV as he runs 25 yards backwards on a 4th down and then throws up a perfectly placed ball to Cole Kmet for the touchdown. We were talking on the phone as it's going down. I love making fun of Caleb Williams. He's an easy guy to make fun of. The crying, the nails, the personality, being extremely closeted. But game recognizes game. The kid is a good football player, especially now that he's got good coaching. He's quite possibly ready to surpass guys like a Pat Mahomes or a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson at the off-schedule game. Because when he's off schedule, he does some pretty fucking incredible stuff. The past 2 weeks have proven that to us. He has the clutch gene that some other highly touted NFC North quarterbacks don't have at all in them. Jordan Love. He has some pretty incredible skill sets, and he's doing it from a big frame. He's not some little Kyler Murray running around doing this shit. If he's able to put it all together and do the on-schedule stuff good, you're looking at one hell of a player, which scares me.
I'm sure it does. He was always the guy that we knew had talent, but was he going to be able to keep it all together to make sure the talent translated on the field? Because there was all question marks about off the field with Caleb. Like the personnel, like, I don't give a shit about the nail thing. I had question marks about like the going into the stands and crying rather than being with your teammates in those moments and crying and kind of some of the aloofness in which he kind of. But I feel like that's just kind of this generation more. Like we are starting to get older. We're fucking. I just turned 38, so I'm starting to realize that the shit that I used to do is not the way kids are at all anymore. They are a little bit more like that, which is not my thing. But you know what? Whatever. He is putting it together on the field because he has supreme physical talents. Like you talked about it, running backwards. When he let that ball go, I was like, it's impossible that he got it there. He threw that bitch from the 40, running backwards off his back foot, and it landed in the middle of the end zone. Like he that 45 yards off his back foot into a fucking bucket.
And it looked relatively effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I was screaming at my TV, you fucking idiot. Wrong way, wrong way. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Like it was the lowest of lows to the highest of highs in that moment. A very, very incredible play, but all for naught at the end of the game because DJ Moore decided not to play football. And that'll be a fun one. Apparently, Caleb Williams and DJ Moore haven't spoken since after the game, nor did DJ Moore show up to the traditional clean your locker room out type of day. He's just been gone. DJ Moore's probably not on this Bears team. He was already kind of looked at as a potential cap casualty going into the future. But the way that he just kind of seemingly gave up on a play there at the end, which resulted in an interception, not a good look.
We talked about it before that it looked like he was probably going with all the young talent. Luther Burden has definitely taken a step forward. They like Zemeckis. Obviously, you got the tight ends and Komet and Loveland. Like they have plenty of options. And Adunze, if he gets healthy and progresses, like it could be a big time weapon. So he's already on the trade block as it is. And then what else are you gonna fucking say? Like, how do you, in that moment, after all of the effort to get to that fucking point, do you blame Caleb for being as pissed as he is?
No.
I mean,
not at all. But look, we made a little bit of fun of the Broncos earlier for kind of getting a moral victory there. And this is more of a true moral victory because this was a really bad team that really flipped it around this year. I wasn't sure that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams were going to mesh, but they made that offense work. The defense, this is a team that is, I think, is looking at a very harsh regression next year, but I don't think that the offense is going to be bad. You got one of the easier schedules in the league this year because they were a last place team last year. So that helps them out a lot. They won a lot of close games this year, and you can't bank on doing that in future years. And that defense was very susceptible, but extremely good at getting turnovers. And you can't bank on that from year to year. They're going to have a lot of focus, I think, this offseason on bolstering that defense less than the offense, because I think that you're still going to have a good offense, even if you move on from a DJ Moore. The offense is still going to be good. Caleb's going to grow and become better. The offense is going to be good. and they're going to add pieces to the defense, and they will be a better team, but they are going to be facing a big uphill battle because of those turnovers, the close games, and a much harder schedule next year from having the first place in the NFC North. It's going to make it a lot more difficult, and you're going to see regression from them next year. But still, like, props to them. I don't like giving props to NFC North teams. I didn't like doing it with the Lions. Just I felt a little bit better because they had been so maligned for so long, but they don't get that credit from me anymore. Now I fucking hate the Lions. Not as much as the Packers, but I hate the Lions. And I've always kind of hated the Bears. But, you know, it was good seeing them make me eat crow this year for how bad I thought that they could be. But next year is going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah, actually, I owe my dad some money because I bet him that the Bears would have a worse record than the Browns.
Oof.
Yeah, Bears way outperformed my expectations. Way outperformed. Caleb did as well, man. Now you brought something up, and I don't know if I've ever told you this. I think that this might cause some waves. I think we give way too much credence to the idea of record and one-score games. They're basically all fucking one-score games. We use this stat like it's super special. We barely bet the fucking spread if it's more than 7, right? Like, cause that's a touchdown. So we're like, oh, it's a one-score game. That's up to 7 fucking points. So yeah, 28 to 21 it is not necessarily, that's a one-score game. But we always think about it in much closer aspects than that. But those records that we see, those one-score games, that's all the way up to 7 points. We're putting way too much.
8 points, really.
Yeah, if you want to, I don't know how the NFL classifies it, but it gets way too much credit for what it is. It's basically your fucking record, unless you blow people out or get blown out.
This is true, but I would say that there's still a contextual basis to it as far as was it garbage time scores that got it to within that one score? Was it something where it was a back and forth and you just kind of eke out a win? That was one of the things with my Vikings, 2 years ago, that they were kind of seen as frauds going into the playoffs, and they ended up losing, in the first round to the Giants. But they had, 13, 14 wins, and all of them were by like a 2 to 3 point margin. It's the margin of win, and I know I said one score wins for this Bears team.
Oh, and this is not that's not
their margin of win is very minimal. But yeah, the one score game thing, you're absolutely correct, because we do have a lot of parity in football. We do have, as bad as a team is, a lot of them can still hang. You don't see a Tennessee Titans or something like that every single year where they're just really genuinely bad year in and year out. A lot of these games do come down to being 6, 7, 8 point spreads in the game or less. One score game is probably a bad moniker for it. But the difference being, a 3 score or that margin of victory, that's where I'm kind of getting at with it.
So I completely understand what you're saying. Just when you said one score, like, man, I wonder if I've ever brought that up. I think it gets way too, like, when you're talking about margins of victory, they've won 10 games by a total of fucking 16 points. Oh shit, that's crazy. That's a crazy fucking stat. But they're 11-4 in one score games. Well, if they just fucking play everybody close, that's just their normal ass record. Like, if they play to their competition, there's nothing special or that doesn't reveal anything extra in that stat in my mind.
Yeah. Let me pull this up here real quick. Point differential on the season, plus 26 for the Bears.
Okay, so that's very close.
Yeah.
Very close game.
That's the second closest margin of victory next to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were plus 10. The Ravens were also plus 26. But when you look at some of these other teams that are in the playoffs, Patriots, plus 170, Bills, plus 116, Jaguars, plus 138, Texans, with as bad as their offense was, plus 109. Like,
so those are very close games.
Carolina Panthers.
Oh, no.
Minus 69.
and they made the fucking playoffs.
Yeah. Seattle Seahawks plus 199. Rams plus 172. Like that's playoff caliber point differential.
Yeah.
And so that's, some of the context that goes into it. Obviously, off seasons are going to play a huge role, but I think very early, obviously we aren't even in the next off season, but one of the teams that we could be seeing regress a lot is the Chicago Bears.
I mean, so you could technically say the Bears won 11 games by a margin of 26 points. And you're like, damn, that's only like 2 points a game they won by. And that contextually makes a lot of fucking sense. And like, damn, they played a lot of close games. So they are one of those candidates that for sure you could flip those games and
purely
not
even looking at that, purely just on turnover differential. I would say that
huge turnover. Plus 22 they were this year, some shit.
The regression to the mean on that and how many times those turnovers late in the game ended up sealing games for them, that you cut their turnover differential in half and they're still in the positive, and you probably drop 3-4 games off of those wins. So it's, that's some of the context that goes into it when we're trying to look at and making our predictions for how teams are going to be doing in the following years.
Well, listen, this was a pretty good game. Got another overtime game. Stafford gets the dub. Rams get a third meeting with the Seahawks. Now, last week, I believe I misspoke about the 49ers and the Seahawks, but I'm almost certain that the Rams have lost twice to the Seahawks. I'm going to double check right now.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up just to be safe.
Nope. They are fucking split, so it doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah.
So now it'll be just that third meeting between those two teams.
In a dangerous place to play in Seattle.
Man, gonna be fun. Gonna be a fucking banger. Great. I mean, I think that this is probably the best weekend of football in terms of like typically high quality games.
The upcoming week?
This week. This last week is divisional week. The conference championship games are fun, but there's only 2 fucking games. There's just not enough. I need more.
And we are having one of them with a backup quarterback who's played 4 games.
Yeah, so essentially we got 1 game and a cakewalk to determine the Super Bowl. So I love the divisional round because that's typically you get the good teams of the playoffs playing against each other. Wild card's cool, but you also get some fucking 8 and 9 teams that make it.
That wild card week though, this year was pretty fucking good.
It was a good week. It was a good fucking wild card week.
Yeah.
But, my man, I don't know if we got anything else to go over. We wrap this thing up. We're both sitting at 8-2 on our picks for the postseason. Everybody who tuned in, thank you very much. We will be coming back to you guys on I don't know what day. One of these days we're going to talk. I'm going to talk to you. I'm shooting a movie this week. I'm a producer on a movie. So
porno. But
yeah, that's why I'm producing it. If I can't be an actor in it.
Producer, fluffer, it is what it is.
And whatever. They call it different things in the biz. Anyways, we will be coming to you guys before the games come out.
Stuntcock.
On Saturday or Sunday. And we'll make sure that all those picks come to you guys. But thank you guys very much. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. I'm going to give Evo one last word, and then we're going to get the fuck out of here. And then check the socials for when we will be back out. You can catch us on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where a lot of the comments have come in. Evo, go ahead, brother.
Yep. Keep this one short and sweet this week. Wise man once said, it's okay if you step on your crank as long as you don't stand on it.
Hell yeah. I'll take that. Couldn't stand on mine if I wanted to. Guys, we appreciate you. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. See you guys later. See you.